Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie, and today we are going to be reading Motherthing by Ainslie Hogarth. I've been having bad luck this week on books that I've been reading. I've started 3 or 4 vlogs and no. They didn't get very far because I wasn't enjoying the book or the books were just boring. But I started Motherthing. I literally just read the first page yesterday. I think I'm going to love it just based on the writing. I'm expecting a fun time, a weird time, and I don't think I'm going to be scared, but I think the characters are going to be scared in a way that I'm enjoying it. I don't know if that sounds cruel or not, but whatever. This is about a woman named Abby, and her husband move in with their mother-in-law. Well, with Abby's mother-in-law. The mother-in-law's name is Laura, and Laura hates Abby. And I don't even think it's just in her head, like I think she's actually a bitch to her. But then Laura, the mother-in-law, ends up herself, and now her ghost is haunting Abby, and I think the husband. And the only way for Abby to solve it is by using a unique recipe for chicken a la king. So it's just gonna be weird. And the first paragraph, wow. Let me just read it to you, okay? The night Ralph's mother flayed her forearms, a woman in a red dress handed him a business card. I know how woman in a red dress sounds because I thought the same thing at first. When I got back to the ICU waiting room with our sodas, I said, "What do you mean, woman in a red dress?" A Jessica Rabbit type came va-va-vooming down the hall, pendulum hips pounding sound waves into the souls of dicks. Yes! I am so excited to read this. Yes. I'm really hoping I love this. And if not, I know I'm gonna have a good time. Okay guys, I am about 25% through. I'm on page 70 and I am loving this book so far. It has potential for a 5-star, and that's only because of the writing and the weird randomness of it. And what I mean by that is just little things that are said, but they're said so differently than just normal. I think that's the definition of weird. Obviously the mother-in-law died, and so people are sending our main character and her husband different things, like a basket of cheese and chocolate. And so instead of just saying there was bitter chocolate in the basket, it said the type of bitter chocolate that scandalizes unsuspecting children. And then there's a scene where they have to get money out of an ATM, and instead of just saying they got money out of the ATM and then she put the money in her wallet, it says the ATM machine is beeping, it wants things from me, my approval, my particulars. It rewards my obedience with money fresh and hot from the oven. I put the money in my wallet, slide it into my back pocket. Its folded heat emanating into my butt cheek. I squirm into the heat a little. I'm just loving it so far, and there is a lot of talk about touch, even with inanimate objects, and we've already understood why it's called Motherthing. Because do you remember learning about how monkeys that are bred in captivity or whatever, I think there was an experiment I remember from my psychology class back in college, where monkeys would be fed from a bottle. It was like a little nipple. Sorry, that word will always make me laugh. That was on a wire or something like that, like a wire monkey. And then they had one that had cloth on it. And even though they were both being fed, or they were both giving food to the monkeys, the baby monkeys would always go to the one with the cloth. And I think they even tried it where they didn't get food from the cloth one and they still went to it because it was touching it. And that gives animals a sort of love, you know? Our character's talking about how she used to get comfort when she was little from a couch, a corduroy couch, and how those cloth things are called mother things. It calms them down the way a mother would. And we are also getting little snippets into our main character, Abby, right? Yeah, Abby's mother was not a great mother for her, and how she really tries to find mothers in things that are not her mother, including her mother-in-law, which is so sad because her mother-in-law is just not the greatest lady. She's dealt with depression her own life, and she has borderline personality disorder, and she's manipulated her son for years and years. I think she really resented the fact that Abby was really a good caregiver for Abby's husband. It just sucks because Abby really, really wanted her to like her and to like envelop her and become her sort of mother. Yeah, there's a lot going on here in the present with the mother-in-law dying, how both Abby and Abby's husband are dealing with that, but also, like I said, these flashbacks to Abby's own childhood and her own mother. Abby also wants to become a mother, and so there's all these different layers. And you know what's crazy is that motherhood is not something I think about too often. First of all, I don't want kids. I also don't really have a mom. It's a very long story. I do have a foster mom. And I love her to death. I literally worship the ground that she walks on. So I'm very lucky in that fact, but motherhood in general is so weird because it's something that we all, whether or not we have a relationship with our mother or not, we all had a mother, even if we don't know them. It's so weird that that is like a universal topic for all of us. And sometimes I forget about that because I don't really have a mom, so it's interesting to read about. And now I'm blushing because I feel like I've overshared, so I'm gonna keep reading and I'll come back at the halfway point. Hello, I got halfway through Motherthing, and I'm still really liking it. There was a creepy scene that involved dark, the basement, and a possible ghost. And I wasn't expecting to actually be creeped out in this book. I thought it'd be more like fun and funny, and there are definitely funny parts in this. But yeah, I was a little creeped out, and it's sort of interesting. So Abby's husband, what is his name? Ralph. He has depression as well, and he is spiraling right now. So he thinks that his mother is, you know, either haunting them or she's coming back to life, whatever. And Abby is sort of in this position where it's like, is this real or is this just his depression getting a hold of him? And so in that way, it's kind of like Our Wives Under the Sea, where you don't know if something paranormal is taking place or if it's just a human reaction. This is my favorite book of the year so far, so obviously I like it. However, this is trying to also do something else that Our Wives Under the Sea did. So I like that in this one, because of the things that are happening with Ralph, his depression, and he is sort of drifting from Abby, and Abby is trying so hard to bring them back together. And we're getting flashbacks, sort of how they first met and when they were in love. And it's funny because Abby sounds sort of dramatic, very creative maybe. And so her flashback scenes, and sometimes she makes scenes up in her head. It's like I don't know, like a play sort of. And so I really like that, like seeing how a relationship has changed and also the sort of playfulness of how it's being told to us. However, it doesn't have that emotional hit that this has. I feel like this couple's love story was just so beautiful and innocent and lovely. And so it made it that much more heartbreaking when they were being, you know, separated in some sort of way. This one, I don't know, I'm not buying their relationship as much. I'm more so interested in Abby. Maybe it's because I don't know how much I buy their love story, just because she has so many issues and she is a kind of person that is really wanting a mother thing, and she's really trying to clench onto anyone who will love her unconditionally, even if maybe it's not healthy. However, that might just be me reading too much into this character because I obviously have some of my own mommy and daddy issues, so I have therapized myself and have been therapized. I'm curious to see how it'll be handled, but I'm very curious also to see, is this paranormal or is this just a product of depression and paranoia and insomnia? Maybe we won't find out. That's kind of a fun ending too, when it's just ambiguous and you have to just wonder. At the same time, our main character Abby works at, I think, like a nursing home, and she loves her job, and she especially loves one of her patients, Mrs. Bondi. And she loves her so much that she calls her baby. Like, she treats her as if she's her baby. She washes her hair and brushes her hair, and she really cares for her like it was her child. And I'm just having so much fun, which is a weird thing to say about this book. I just think it's so wonderfully written. I'm enjoying myself immensely. I hope there's more creepy stuff because yeah, that was kind of fun too. Today we are going to the beach with some friends, so I will be bringing the book. I'm not sure how much I'll get read, mostly because when I'm reading a book, I like to be focused and I don't want distractions around me and I don't want to be interrupted. I like to read in a concentrated effort, but I'll definitely show you the ocean. Another day, I'm much pinker. I look like Where's Waldo. I finished my book. I finished this about 20 minutes ago and I briefly tried to talk about it and this is what came out. I'm So let me try to say this a little more clearly. I love this. I'm giving it 5 stars and I can't really explain to you what happens, obviously, because no spoilers, but this takes a wild turn. So many emotions I had while reading this book. You think it's comical, and it is. You think it's about a woman who owns one of these books and just loves to be, you know, everyone's caregiver, and it is. But there are also these tiny little creepy, almost gory imaginings, and I love that in writing, and I see it a lot in some of my favorite books, which I will get into in a second, where it's almost this hint of horror and this hint of gore and this hint of being an animal. And I love that because that's how I feel in my head. But it takes it to another level that I was not expecting, and yeah. So let me briefly tell you, by comparing it to other books that I've read, what this story did for me. First of all, I teared up several times in the second half of reading this book, and then I wished I was filming myself while I was reading it, because that last chapter, nothing could have taken me away from this book. I was actually like blocking myself from reading like the rest of it, because sometimes my periphery vision like tries to spoil endings for me, and so I was like, no, I'm not having it. I'm taking this book as it is coming, but I was reading like as fast as I possibly could. So first, we have this sort of almost comical writing in here. In this one, it's a little bit more sharp, and our character is not supremely nice, and that helps her become a better person and a better caregivers to these children who burst into flames. So there's that sort of weird element in this as well. This is sad as well as funny. Definitely got that in here. Then we have Our Wives Under the Sea, which, like I said earlier, is about a story about a married couple who deeply love each other but are now strangers because of a possible weird thing that is happening, or maybe isn't happening. We have Woman Eating, which is a kind of mixture of these, where there's this gory element and this horrific element because our main character is a vampire, but she's also dealing with being a young woman and growing up. And for all of those reasons, I thought that this book, Motherthing, I'm holding too many books and I'm confusing myself, so just stay with me one more minute. I thought that Motherthing was going to give me everything I loved in all of these books, and it did. However, it gave me something a little extra that could be found mostly in this, and it's that bizarre element, and sort of in here, this weird shit going on. You don't even have time to process it, you just gotta ride it out. And this is very much a fever dream, and I'm going speechless again just because I'm surprised, pleasantly surprised, disgustingly surprised. Yeah, so if you like all of these books, definitely read this book, please, and then tell me all about what you think, even if you hate it. There were some things that hit really close to home though, like on a really kind of level that I wasn't prepared for. And wow, I instantly want to read this again just to see if it might be my favorite book of the year. I don't know. It gave me so much. And for that, I am grateful. Oh my gosh, someone's talking about Mona Awad's bunny on the back. I swear I didn't see that until just now. But yeah, what a lovely book. What a lovely time. I'm so thankful. Honestly, I've had so many books this year, mostly all of these, where I I read it and I just feel like it was a gift to me personally. And for that, I am so, so grateful. If you have any books at all that sort of seem like any of these, if you've read them, you cannot type it fast enough for me, please. All right, guys, I'm going to go edit this video and maybe whip up a little something. Just kidding. The only thing I can make in here is fried eggs, maybe French toast. That actually sounds like a good combo. Bye.